Hurricane Helene, a catastrophic Category 4, showing no mercy.
That deadly catastrophic storm Helene.
Tropical storm Helene.
Hurricane Helene. Helene.
We are in the middle of hurricane season here in Vero Beach, Florida. And if you're wondering how us local residents deal with the crazy tropical storms and the hurricanes that we frequently get here, you've clicked on the right video. Right now, Hurricane Helene is barreling down on Florida's west coast. And even though we're not in the direct path here in Vero Beach, I have a few things that I need to do to get ready for this thing. I know many of you are moving here from out of state, such as myself, and aren't used to hurricanes. So that is why in this video, I'm gonna go over key things you need to know, such as how to protect your home, insurance issues, the best window treatments, and just general tips you need to know if you're not used to the crazy hurricanes we get here. It's starting to rain, so I better hurry recording this. So before we get into the video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out tremendously and I'd greatly appreciate it. With that being said, let's get right into this video. So living in Vero Beach means being prepared for hurricane season when it comes around, and that is June 1st to November 30th. During this time, Florida is more likely to see tropical storms and hurricanes, especially between August and October when storms are at their peak. The first obvious step I take to prepare is just to make sure everything in the yard is secure. I'll get my chickens put back away in their coop, and if the storm is bad enough, I'll actually have to relocate that coop into my garage. But like I said, this hurricane, we're not in the direct path, so I shouldn't have to do that. Another thing that I'll have to do is take off my fence cap posts. These kind of come off, so they're easy access, but I have seen them fly away in tough weather. Some other things that I'll have to do is put in all of this furniture. If the hurricane is actually going to hit us, I would have to take all this furniture and put it either inside or in the garage. I have to take all of my plants off the shelves, and if, like I said, if we were in the direct path, I'd be putting that either inside or in the garage. Come on, girl, I'm trying to record a video here. But yeah, since we're not in the direct path for this current hurricane that's hitting the west coast, I don't plan on putting that in. I think we're gonna get just 35-mile-per-hour winds. But like I said, the chicken coop, the furniture, if we're getting a direct hit, that needs to be enclosed, because in strong gusts, you can get 60, 70, 80-mile-per-hour winds, and that can easily take that up. And another thing you'll have to consider is just things like this. You would think that this isn't a big deal, but since it does have tarp on it, it gives it a lot of lift. So I am kind of worried about that, and what I'm going to end up doing is staking that down. And if you're lucky enough, or if you have the money, what I would suggest is do what many people do down here in Florida, and they'll have accordion style shutters for their entire lanai. So what they can end up doing is take all the furniture, everything that they need to get enclosed. Heck, you could even put the dang chickens in there, and you can really from each side close it, and anything in there is going to be good. I've seen that done a lot, and that kind of leads us into our next topic, which is going to be window treatments, because they are very important. Okay, so for window treatments, I personally have aluminum shutters, and those are kind of the lower level quality, basic level of protection that you can get down here in Florida. And then it goes accordion style shutters, which I kind of just talked about. You can get little accordions for each window, to where if a storm comes, all you have to do, grab that side, pull it in, grab that side, pull it in, lock it, and you're good to go. So you can lock up your whole house in minutes. On the other hand, I have to use the aluminum shutters, and those guys can be a pain in the butt sometimes. Just take today, for example. I'm not gonna put the shutters on because I don't think that this hurricane is gonna hit us, but I also don't know that for sure. And it could, hurricanes can change course on a dime. So it's better to be safe than sorry, where if I had accordion style shutters, I would just shut those suckers for the night and not be worried about it at all. But now I have to kind of play that gamble of, is it worth putting on the aluminum shutters and having that take maybe 2 hours of my life, and then the storm not hit us, and then I'm almost disappointed that the storm didn't hit us because I did all that work for nothing? Or do I not put them on at all and risk the storm hitting us? So with accordion style shutters, you don't have to have that option. And hopefully while I'm talking, I'm going to superimpose different photos of accordion style shutters and regular aluminum shutters like I have. And that, like I said, that's another big downside, is just putting them on. you have to put on aluminum shutters, and it can take hours depending on how many windows and everything you have, and it's a laborious job, so it's not for everyone, especially when it's hot and humid out. So you have to take that into consideration. So there's aluminum style shutters that you have to manually put on. There is accordion style shutters that you can just keep permanently left on and close whenever you need. And that brings me into the third type of protection that I see down here, and that is going to be impact glass, hurricane glass, impact resistant glass, whatever you want to call it. So impact glass is going to be definitely the most costly of the three, for sure. Impact glass definitely costs a lot of money, especially when you're looking at replacing or getting impact glass for big sliding doors. It can range into the thousands and thousands of dollars. So just be prepared for that. But if you're lucky enough to have a home with it, and or you have the money for it, having impact glass can be awesome, and you really never have to play the guessing game of what do I need to do to protect my home in a hurricane. You're just always inherently protected. It is better for energy efficiency, it's better for noise cancellation, and it can really handle everything, such as a big hurricane rolling through. Another big reason to get the impact resistant glass is that is also where you're going to get the most insurance discount. So for accordion style shutters, you're going to get a discount. For aluminum style shutters, you're going to get a basic discount. And then with impact resistant glass in the whole house, you're going to get a more significant discount. And that kind of brings me into my next topic, which is insurance. And I get asked a few questions all the time. And one question that I get asked all the time is hurricane insurance required here in Florida? The short answer is no, it's not required, but 90% of lenders that lend here in Florida are going to require it anyway. So it's not required, but more than likely you're going to have to pay for some type of hurricane insurance. And then another question that I get asked all the time, and people are very worried about, and rightfully so, is flood insurance required? And the short answer to that one is also no. Flood insurance is not required at all unless you live in a flood zone. Most of new construction nowadays is not going to be in a flood zone. If you're in flood zone X down here, that means you're not in a flood zone. Then I believe it goes to flood zone X500. And depending on your lender, you may or may not need flood insurance, but that is case by case. For me, I live in flood zone X. I don't need flood insurance, and so I don't have flood insurance personally. And if you're thinking about moving to Vero Beach and are worried about the flood zones, if you buy on the mainland, the majority of the time you're not going to be in a flood zone. You'll be in flood zone X like I am. If you are buying next to the Indian River Lagoon, or if you live on the island, then there is definitely a high possibility that you're either in zone X500, which is the one right below zone X, and then you might also be in zone AE, which is a little bit even more risky for flood. So it goes zone X, X500, and AE, if I remember correctly. And you can see the flood map for yourself. I will try to superimpose a FEMA flood map on the screen right now. And if I can't, I'll just leave a link down in the description for the Vero Beach FEMA flood map, and you can see exactly where is zone X, AE, and X500. Like I said, for the most part on the mainland, it's gonna be zone X. If you live next to the water, I mean, you kind of gotta know that you might be in a flood zone. Okay, so moving on from the flood insurance and all that discussion, let's now talk about some of the things that you definitely should have before a hurricane hits if you're new here to Florida. One of the first things that you should have, obviously, is going to be enough food, non-perishable food, and clean drinking water. I know a lot of people either what they'll do is they'll end up like filling up their bathtubs one last time, just in case you're without power for 7 days or more, which would be an extreme case, and that does also depend on where you live. So for me, I live right next to the school, so fortunately these power lines and all the power near me gets fixed. It has kind of priority, so it gets fixed first. So luckily for me, if the power does go out, normally shortly after it gets turned on, or it's one of the first places in Vero Beach to get turned on. And that kind of goes into what you'll need next, which is going to be a whole house generator. Preferably, what you would want to do is get a generator, have it outside, and run your hookups inside. That way you don't have to keep a window open to power your generator, or you don't have to keep it in your garage where all those fumes will get all smelly. You don't want to do that. So what I would recommend, as a lot of people do after they live and experience a few hurricanes down here, they kind of get smart. They say, hey, I don't want to do that again. So what they do is I haven't done it myself because this is my first year in the home, but I believe they just cut holes and run the wire through the stucco so they can keep their generator outside and not have it either in the garage or, like I said, leave a window open where rain could set in, and it's just overall not a good deal. Get those outside hookups. You'll thank me later. Other items for me personally that have came in handy multiple times during hurricanes are going to be, first and foremost, a gas grill. That has saved my butt a bunch. You just need gas grill and those little green propane bottles and you're good to go. You can cook a whole meal on it. You can put stoves, or you can put pans on it. You can cook a lot of stuff many different ways with a gas stovetop. Another thing, obviously, candles and flashlights, lanterns, stuff to light it up. Because right now, I think sunset's around 7, and I don't go to bed. I'm a night owl. I don't go to bed till 12, so that will be 5-6 hours in the dark. So definitely want all of those things. If you have a whole home generator, obviously you'll have some spare electricity to run, to have some lighting there. Other essentials would be phone battery banks. Have them pre-charged, ready to go. It's a pain in the butt when you have no power and your phone is dead and you just have absolutely nothing to do. At least your phone can keep you semi-occupied. So I always have 1 or 2 battery banks that are already pre-charged, ready to go at any moment for when that hurricane could take out the power. So you're going to want to have the same items that you probably already have right now for, if you live in a northern state, for when a blizzard rolls through and it cuts out power. Or, if you live in the Midwest and you get a tornado, you're going to want to have those same items. The same items that I had up in Minnesota to ride out a blizzard are really the same items that you're kind of going to need here in Florida to ride out a hurricane. And guys, it's really not that bad unless you get a direct hit. I've been a part of probably 10 or more hurricanes here in Florida, one of which was a bigger hit than normal. But all of them we got through. None of them were crazy intense to where you shouldn't move here, right? I moved here 10 years ago, and like I said, I've been through those 10 hurricanes, and not one single one of them was really super scary. Sometimes, yes, winds can whip and it can be scary, but it's Florida. Honestly, you're going to get that in the summer on a normal rainy day. It could have huge wind gusts just on an average day, let alone a hurricane. So yeah, I guess if you're really scared of hurricanes, I don't think you should be. There's other things that I was more scared of, such as tornadoes up in the Midwest. That was kind of a more scary thing. At least with a hurricane, you can see it days and days and days before it comes. I know a lot of times in the Midwest, there's very little to no warning when a tornado actually strikes, and it can be, maybe minutes warning rather than a hurricane you're going to get days. All right, guys, well, looks like I caught a break. Looks like the calm before the storm. Hurricane Helene should be making landfall here in a short few hours, so I got to get some stuff done. I got to get these girls all happy. Sign off with me, guys. Awesome. Hey guys, I appreciate you guys watching this video. Hopefully this gave you a little bit more information and quelled a little bit of your nerves moving here to Vero Beach, Florida and experiencing hurricanes, because we are right on the coast and it can be scary, but if you're prepared, it really isn't scary. So guys, do me a favor, if this video helped you at all, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate every single one of you guys watching. If you're considering moving here, give me a call, give me a text, give me an email, whatever you're most comfortable with. Until then, guys, I'm gonna get ready with these ladies right here, and we're gonna get all protected for this storm. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.